I want to talk and go into my baseball breakdowns, baseball. So if you're a baseball fan, you'll like this. If you're not, I'm sorry. I'll try to make it somewhat quick. So I am a big baseball fan. I am a New York Yankees fan, but I'm not a biased New York Yankee fan. I know when there's other teams and other players that are good. That goes with all my teams. I don't just, toot the horns of my own teams. I'm pretty neutral that way. So I want to break down each division as we're leading up to the beginning of the season, which is in the beginning of April. I want to say April 3rd, but I might be totally off on that date. But I want to start with the National League West. That division, they hold the Los Angeles Dodgers, San Francisco Giants, the Colorado Rockies, the Arizona Diamondbacks, and the San Diego Padres. That's right. So basically, I'm going to let you know who I think will come in first through fifth, and give you some just ideas of like what I think. Again, who am I? I'm just giving you my opinion. It is what it is. Take it for what it's worth. It's my opinion. If you have any comments or if you want to let me know what you think, feel free. I'd love to have a discussion with you and talk if you disagree or if you agree. Awesome. So let's start. I'm going to start right off the bat. I'm not even going to get in really talking about these teams too much because I don't think they're going to get any higher than fourth and fifth place, and that's the Padres and the Rockies. I think it'll probably be San Diego 4th, Colorado 5th. If they do anything, they'll probably make some trade deadline moves at the trade deadline in July, because the teams do have some talent that they can get some young talent back and maybe restock their farm system. But I don't see these teams doing anything. I don't see these teams being a threat. I don't see these teams I would say if they're even close to in the race. I think both of them could be out of it by Memorial Day. That's about 2 months into the season. I think they could be out by then or way before then. Especially Colorado. They're going to struggle in the National League, especially in their own division. They have the Dodgers, the Giants, and Arizona have all... Arizona and Giants have gotten better. Dodgers are still good, but, they're teetering because they didn't take a big hit losing Greinke, and we'll get into that. But I'm going 4th place, the Padres, 5th place, the Colorado Rockies. Will they be that much away from each other? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know if it'll be that huge, but either way, I think they're going to finish way behind. I think they both will be definitely out of it by Memorial Day. I am predicting it now. By Memorial Day, they will be out of contention. And they'll probably be looking to be big sellers in July, June and July. So that leads us into the Dodgers, the Giants, and the Diamondbacks. Here are my things. So first off, let's start with who I think is going to come into 3rd place. And again, this is just my opinions. I don't know. I'm a little caught between the 2nd and 3rd place team, but I went with the 3rd team. I went with Arizona. I kind of could have put them in 2nd too, but I don't know. I think Arizona, by what they did, and I have some notes here. So if you see me, if you hear me taking a pause or looking down, because I'm taping this also for the YouTube channel, it's just because I have so much stuff that I had to write down notes so I don't forget. The acquisitions they've made, the Diamondbacks in the offseason, was Zach Greinke, one of the top starting pitchers in the major leagues. That was a great signing by them. That was a huge loss for the Dodgers. I was surprised that they let him walk. Great pickup by the Diamondbacks. Then I think they traded for Shelby Miller. I know they got Shelby Miller. I can't remember if they signed him or traded him, but either way, I think Shelby Miller is going to be a really good start. He's a really good starting pitcher, and I think he'll do really good in Arizona. Now I know their stadium is kind of iffy with home runs and stuff, but I think Shelby Miller, following a Zach Greinke, I think that's a nice combo for a team that, they have Patrick Corbin, I think, is coming back from being injured. So they have a decent rotation, especially with Greinke holding that down. He's a definitely great stop guy that if they get into any type of losing streaks, just throw Greinke out there, and he most likely will stop that losing streak. So they're not going to have a continuous losing streak going on for the year. And then they picked up Gene Seguro, I forgot how to say that guy's name, but he's a shortstop, and I think that was a great pickup too. Along with Paul Goldschmidt, I think they're going to have a really good team. I think they will contend, especially maybe for that second wild card spot. I think they'll be in there all year. I don't see them falling out unless there's some god-awful injury, unless Goldschmidt gets injured again or Greinke, God forbid, goes down with an injury. And again, when I give you my predictions, they're all based on my thoughts that no one gets injured, which never happens in Major League Baseball. But it's just the assumptions that no one's going to get injured. Everyone's going to be 100% healthy. Okay? I think the Diamondbacks can come into third place and maybe contend for that second wild card spot. We'll see. Second, I have coming in, I have the Dodgers. And the reason I have the Dodgers coming in is because, yes, I know they added a couple starting pitchers. I know they added, they added Kazmir, Brett Anderson, and Kenta Maeda. I don't know how to say that name, whatever. That's great that they added them, but they're not Zach Greinke. They are not Zach Greinke, and Zach Greinke had a fantastic, fabulous year last year. He was the best, probably one of the best starting pitchers in the National League, in baseball in general. They lost a huge pitcher, and I know they added Brett Anderson. He's okay. Scott Kazmir is okay. I don't know Kenta Maeda. I don't know that guy. I don't know if he's new or whatever. I've been kind of out of the loop, but I don't know what his deal is. But they're not going to be able to replace Greinke. And they had Kershaw, Greinke. They had a 1-2 punch that was dominant in baseball. That hurts. And losing their manager, Don Mattingly, who didn't deserve to, I think he was fired. He didn't deserve it. Don Mattingly is a good manager. He was on a tough team with high payroll, high expectations, a lot of egos that he had to, tame. But he's over in Miami now. We'll get into him when we get to the National League East. But they lost Don Mattingly. They lost Zach Greinke. They did add Howie Kendrick and Joe Blanton. Okay, that's great. But they still have an overloaded outfield with Carl Crawford, Andre Ethier, Yasiel Puig, and Jock Peterson. It's overloaded. It's been overloaded for years, even back before they traded Matt Kemp. They've always had too much outfield help. And, someone like Andre Ethier deserves more playing time. I still don't understand why they haven't traded any of these guys to try to get some maybe Major League ready talent back or get some stockpile, the farm system a little bit. But they got Crawford. No one's going to take that deal. Ethier, I think, is tradable. I think Puig would be tradable, except for I don't know if his attitude and the way he plays translates to a lot of teams. So I don't know what's going on with him. And Jock Peterson, I know he's a young. I think he was a rookie last year. Can't remember. I might have my dates off. But I just think they're overloaded with the outfield help. I don't think their pitching is quite as good as it was last year. And I think they lost a really good manager in Mattingly. And I think they're going to be right there. Could I see them even flip-flopping back and forth with Arizona? Yes, I can, personally. So I'm going to say they're going to come in second. Arizona will be nipping at their heels, maybe even overtake that second spot and knock them to third. But the Dodgers will be in the mix. They do have Kershaw, the best pitcher in the world. And then we're going to go with who I think is going to come in first. And obviously, by process of elimination, it's the San Francisco Giants. They added Shmard. Oh my God, I always mess up his name. Jeff Samardzija and Johnny Cueto, which I know Samardzija didn't have a great year last year on the White Sox. But again, he was coming from the Cubs, National League, coming to an American League team. He's going back to the National League in a very weakened division. I think Samardzija will get back on track. Will he be what he was in the early years with the Cubs? Maybe not. But even if he's a guy that can get them, 12, 13, maybe 14 wins, keeps that ERA in a low 3, maybe even mid 3s, has the strikeouts, just gets them to that 7th inning. I think that's what they'll ask for. I think that'll be great in back of Madison Bumgarner. Then they got Johnny Cueto, who had some rough spots with Kansas City when he got traded to them last year, but turned on in a couple games in the playoffs where he was phenomenal. Yeah, he had some stinkers, but he was phenomenal in some of those spots near the end of the playoffs. He is a great pitcher. He was fantastic with Cincinnati all those years. And I think coming back to the National League, again, in a weakened division with the San Francisco Giants and a team that has been so great with starting pitching, I think they have probably the best starting pitching in that division. And I think that's going to be pretty difficult to beat. And then they just signed Denard Span, who's a great athlete, a good hitter. I think he'll add to that team with the other, the Buster Posies and the Panic and Crawford and all those other guys, Pagan. They have a really, the Giants have a really good culture there. They win. They like to win. This is one of their winning years, I believe, if you go by how they alternate. So I think the Giants are going to run away with the division, to be honest with you. I think when we're looking in around 4th of July, I think they're going to have a nice, comfortable, maybe double-digit lead, or maybe right there, 8-9 game lead over whoever's in second place at that point. Could be Dodgers or Diamondbacks. But I think the Giants are going to run away with the division. And again, this is all barring injuries. I mean, if the Giants lose 3 or 4 guys to injuries and they're out for the whole year, obviously these predictions are going to change. But I'm going to go. I'm going Giants, Dodgers, barely meeking out the Diamondbacks, and then you're just going to have Padres, Rockies just floundering in the bottom, giving wins to everybody, and it is what it is. So those are my Major League predictions for the National League West. Next week, I'm going to hit up the National League Central, and then we'll do the East, and then we'll go into the American League. We'll save the American League East for my last one to do it, because that is my Yankees division, and I'll make everybody wait and clamor for that a little bit more. So that's my Major League Baseball National League West predictions for the 2016 season.